And speaking of pharma, Morgan Stanley out with a new note today laying out the shift in consumer spending among higher GLP-1 adoption zip codes. And those changes are already weighing on some quick service restaurant names. Joining us now is the author of that note, Brian Harbour from Morgan Stanley. Brian, great to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks, Melissa.
When we say long term, I mean, this is years, 2022 to 2025, and you look by zip codes, and you saw wealthier zip codes had higher adoptions of GLP-1 rates. What else did you find in terms of the winners and the losers within the restaurant space?
Well, the wallet share shifts were actually quite striking. This is the first time we've kind of married credit card data and prescription data. And what we did see was, there was definitely a shift away from a lot of the traditional fast food chains. It actually looked like it was benefiting someone like a Chipotle, even like a Starbucks looked pretty similar. It actually also looked like it was benefiting full service restaurants when you looked at wallet share on each of those categories.
And presumably it benefits something like a Chipotle because Chipotle is fast, but it's seen as healthier, it's fresh. And there were some chains that you couldn't analyze because of it didn't have geographic representation, or they weren't big enough, et cetera. But by extension, how would you extrapolate that? I mean, from your standpoint, I mean, is Cava a winner? I mean, who are some of the other winners potentially?
I think Cava certainly falls in that category, right? It kind of similar, mostly whole foods, kind of like fresh cooking, right? Obviously, customization certainly helps. So, yes, I do think some of those healthier fast casual chains, we are seeing them gain some share, and that's probably what you'd expect to continue. Obviously, the GLP-1 pill is out this year, and that will continue to drive adoption.
Brian, the traditional fast food chains, do they acknowledge this impact, and are they doing anything, to your mind, to adapt to it?
Well, it's interesting, right? No one is saying this isn't happening. I don't think anyone's called out a specific GLP-1 impact so far, but they have certainly talked about, innovating to try to address this if taste shifts. And look, I think they will do that. If you think about McDonald's, biggest fast food chain in the world, they're not going to let taste shift underneath them. But a lot of these guys have also put out, higher protein items lately. So you're seeing some adaptation to that, but not rapidly, right?
From your standpoint, though, should that innovation be faster? I mean, seeing the rate of adoption, seeing the wallet shifts that have already happened early in sort of the GLP adoption race, you would think that they'd be all over it. I mean, you see packaged food companies really innovating to try and cater to that GLP-1 user.
I think it probably should happen faster to some extent, right? Some of the packaged food companies, I think, were more overexposed to unhealthy stuff. What I would say about restaurants is, restaurants still provide a service. There's a convenience element. I think people will always go there for that reason. But yes, I mean, in general, I do think that faster innovation might help some of them, because if you talk to my pharma colleagues, right, they see accelerating adoption of these things in the next couple of years.
Found it interesting, Brian, that fitness chains in those zip codes have actually done pretty well, especially at the higher end. I know you don't cover them, but what's the through line there?
Yeah, well, this research did show, that fitness chains were seeing rising adoption, right? I think it's obviously spurring people to sign up for a gym. So that certainly came across in the data too, right, as adoption has increased.
And beverages, really no impact. I get people still drink beverages, coffee and such, even if they're trying to lose weight.
Perhaps that's taking the place of snacking. I might say, right, beverage is a very fast-growing category, right? I covered Dutch Bros, a good concept. I do think to some extent, it's replacing maybe other eating occasions, or maybe you don't go buy breakfast, but you do buy a coffee, right? That actually showed it was pretty protected in this work here. So, and we do like those beverage stocks as well.